nothing says you care like crypto. Nothing can compare. Nothing says you care like crypto. Oh, nothing can compare to crypto.
Right now in America, I'm seriously concerned that there is a big shift happening.
Within the manosphere exist groups like MGTOW, or men going their own way, men who want nothing to do with women.
Women can have their expectation. They can say, I want a guy with a six-pack. I want a guy with six figures. If a man says, I prefer a woman that's sort of on the fit side, a little slender, he's a sexist.
This passport bro movement puts like kind of a racist and colonial dimension to this, because it kind of fulfills like their expectations that, you know, brown people should be servicing white people.
Feminism has left women broke, broken, and alone. Today's video comes from Adamant Mindset. His channel will be linked in the description so that you can go check him out and support him. Watch to the end of the video to fully understand the implications of feminism collapsing and how this will affect women going forward into the future. Don't forget to follow us on Rumble. It's linked in the description. You never really know what will happen on this platform, so definitely go and follow us there. And now let's just go ahead and jump right into the video.
Hello there fellas, welcome back to my channel. Today we got this new documentary on passport bros. I have its linked in the description below if you want to check that out. The entire video is close to 50 minutes. It covers a lot of things what I just edited out, and just how there's specific things that we only care about on this channel. How the women are feeling about the passport bros, what's its intentions, and how men are shamed for having preferences like always. Let's just see what we got here today.
Meet Austin, Alex, and Paul. They're all from America, and they've all been hit by Cupid's arrow in Asia.
Am I seeking love? Yes. Yes, I think that's fair to say.
They're part of a growing group of young Western men who travel abroad to look for romance. A movement that calls themselves the Passport Bros.
I think it's refreshing when men come here, they find a really feminine, nurturing woman that trusts them.
While some see no harm in these men roaming for romance.
ถ้าทุกคนสามารถมีตัวเลือกที่เหมาะสมนะครับยิ่งเยอะก็ยิ่งเป็นสิทธิ์ของเขา
Others find their motivations distasteful.
It kind of fulfills like their expectations that, you know, brown people should be servicing white people.
And that right there is a person you will extremely dislike by the end of this video, because she just keeps blaming men for everything. And again, you might believe that the feminism is only bad and worse. No, the East is also catching up, and this is a good example. Let's continue.
So guys, this holiday season, Angry's Crypto Academy is running a Christmas promo to help you start 2025 strong. From now until December 31st, you can get 20% off annual paid subscriber plans. And the bootcamp membership is also 20% off. If you've been waiting to level up your crypto game, now's the perfect time to invest in yourself. Click the link in the description below, grab your membership, and let's make 2025 your best year yet. Merry Christmas, and I'll see you inside the Academy.
Paul is 28, from New York. Now he calls Bangkok, Thailand, home. He's one of many young Western men who identify themselves as passport bros.
A passport bro is a recent term that's been very popularized recently. It's basically where a man traditionally from the West moves and migrates to another country like in Latin America or in Southeast Asia to pursue women they see as more feminine, right? And the whole goal of this is to find a long-term relationship and to build a family.
The term passport bro is believed to have originated in 2004 to describe Brazilian sex tourism. It then mostly fell out of popular use. But then, in late 2022, it was revived and exploded in popularity, according to Google Trends.
Now, guys, I did warn you this was going to happen. I pointed out that, realistically speaking, the number of men who were leaving as passport bros when it first started, when it first took off 2 years ago, was relatively small because the men who were mostly doing it were black guys. There was a lot of black guys that were doing it. Okay. They're the ones who pioneered the passport bro movement. Let me make this clear, however. They're not the OGs of this game. The OGs are the white guys and even, and black guys from the military. So basically, a lot of military men that started doing this stuff 100 years ago, 75 years ago. They've been doing this for a long time. A lot of military guys have been doing this for ages. A lot of the old white guys, like I always give you guys like the story, like old Uncle Felix, like back in the 1940s and 50s. Old Uncle Felix, he was always kind of like kooky and your mother's weird brother. And he would say something like, oh, he's going to be moving over to this country named Indonesia. Where the heck is even that? And it's screwy Uncle Felix. And he'd go and disappear, and and everyone basically figured that nothing good became of him, but they didn't really care because no one cared for Uncle Felix. But he ended up moving over to Indonesia, where there wasn't a lot of infrastructure, where there was a lot of things needed. A lot of people could not even read and write in the country. To these people, he looked exotic, so he had more girlfriends than he could imagine. He had, like, if he wanted 100 girlfriends, he could have 100 girlfriends. If he wanted 1,000 girlfriends, he could have 1,000 girlfriends. And because of the way that money worked at that time, even now, but even though it's changing, back then, with the money that he was getting, that he had in his pocket, that he brought over there, and and whatever passive income he was generating, he was basically able to live like a millionaire, live like a king. And he realized that there were a bunch of things needed over there, products and services that were not available. So he began opening up a series of businesses to cater to the people living in those countries, creating jobs and opportunities. Lo and behold, Uncle Felix ended up becoming a millionaire, and he fathered something like a couple hundred children. I'm just being really honest. These are real stories, and and all the while, people in the U.S., his family thought that he was a nobody and a good for nothing that they could care less about. So let's be clear that the white guys, the white guys are the OGs of this game. The white guys have been doing the whole, they used to call it mail order bride thing too. But although this goes beyond mail order bride, because with mail order brides, that was basically like a phone book, and you can get yourself a wife from Russia and you'd bring her back to the U.S. These passport kings, they're leaving, and a lot of them are not coming back. Like most passport kings at this moment, they know, don't come back, don't bring her back. If you come back on your own, but let her stay over there. Do not bring her back. Are there some who broken this rule? Of course. Okay. However, most of them are keen to it now, and they know, do not bring her back.
The term trended on TikTok and Instagram as borders reopened and international travel resumed post-COVID-19. By November 2023, the hashtag #PassportBros had gained more than 470 million views on TikTok. So what is driving this surging trend? Well, the popularity of passport bros coincides with the decline of romantic relationships in some Western countries, particularly in the United States.
Right now in America, I'm seriously concerned that there is a big shift happening. And there are a lot of factors that feed into it. So we have less marriages happening. The matchmakers that I work with are finding a big difference in expectations from what women want and what men want. In the past, I would say women in particular would get married for financial security. They no longer need that. Now they want to get married for love.
You serious?
They want to find a partner who's compatible. who has similar core values and lifestyle goals, and a partner who's going to confer and not just go off and make decisions on his own. Young men don't know what they're supposed to do to connect with women. Women don't know a lot of the things of what they should be looking for in a man. There's no blaming women. There's no blaming men. It's just that it's an uncomfortable time where things are changing.
I'm just gonna pause it right here and address the entire love section. She mentioned women marry for love or looking for love in a relationship. They might be looking for love in a relationship, but they're not marrying love. It's the men who marry their love interest. That's how it's always been, because they always date up and men date down. Why would a woman choose?
Let me ask you something. When the banks collapse, and trust me, it's coming, will you be ready? Imagine waking up to ATMs that don't work, bank doors chained shut, and millions of people left with nothing. No cash, no access to their savings, and no way to survive. But it doesn't have to be that way for you. That's why I created Angry's Crypto Academy, to teach you everything you need to know about crypto so you can protect yourself and your family. You'll learn how to buy, sell, and even day trade crypto for a living. Plus, we alert you to new crypto trends so you can profit before everyone else even knows what's happening. Right now, I've just published an exclusive investment guide inside the Academy, and it's linked in the description below. In it, I reveal the one coin that could make you a millionaire. A coin so revolutionary, it could change everything. If you missed out on Bitcoin and Ethereum, this is your second chance. This isn't just about financial freedom. It's about survival. When the system collapses and everyone else is selling, you'll be the one buying, prepared to weather the storm and thrive while others struggle to survive. Don't wait. This knowledge isn't optional, it's critical. The link's in the description. Go check it out now.
A love interest, if he is lower than her, they always look for that stability and security, still do it, regardless of whatever they're trying to say, that how women are not looking for that anymore. They are still looking for it.
Men and women have very differently evolved psychologies. Our female ancestors had to make sure that we were with partners that would care for our offspring. And so in a modern environment where suddenly we don't need men anymore to provide resources, so many women might realize that actually, wait a second, I don't need a man. And male psychology, on the other hand, is very much inclined to pursue a lot of sexual and mating opportunities.
A study in 2020 found more Americans have become sexless, especially young men. About 1 in 3 men aged 18 to 24 said that they had no sexual activity in the past year, a significant jump from 2000. But this wasn't the case for women.
So you could see how in a modern environment, when a male psychology cannot really pursue these opportunities anymore, that they might turn to other strategies to obtain sexual or romantic access.
Passport bro is someone who wants to basically find a traditional wife. I think in the West, a lot of women don't want to be like traditional, don't want to take on these like traditional gender norms, and they want to essentially put on the shoes of like the traditional man, I guess. And I'm not saying that's bad, you know. Every single relationship is different, every person's different, but I think it's refreshing when men come here, they find a really feminine, nurturing woman that trusts them and that they can kind of go in the same direction with, and kind of have the same traditional values and traditional roles, such as women cooking and cleaning, whereas these things would be seen as kind of controversial in the States.
I did say that once the white guys started to do this, because black guys are still a minority in the US that can actually even afford to do this. Black guys are a minority. Like there's only like 7%, 6 to 7% of the population are black men. And then after you basically eliminate Tyrone, and you look at men who have affluency and capacity to be able to go and do something like this, that number falls down to maybe even 2 or 3%, if even that. So basically, all the decent black men are now leaving and going overseas to find love. And I warned that once the Asian men, once the white guys started doing this, once other groups of men started doing this, it was going to that was going to be the end of it. And now that's exactly what's happening. All the white guys are jumping onto the trend and they're becoming passport kings too, and that's mixing it up. And it's not just the white guys, it's basically any American man at this point. All right, Asian American men. You have Asian American men leaving the country, leaving America behind to go overseas and find a woman. Hispanic American men leaving the country behind to go overseas and find a woman. And then you have women in these countries that are trying to put down these men because these men are trying to do better for themselves and trying to find something for themselves overseas. And of course, these women don't like that because they don't like men. These women don't like men. You have to remember that. So they're saying that they're taking advantage of brown women, but you have brown and black men who are the pioneers of this. All right. But they're trying to turn, but they're calling it a form of racism, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever. How is it racism when you have the people who started this were men of color? How are you calling it racist when you have black men, Asian men, Hispanic men doing this? I'm just being so real on this. So it makes no sense. Of course, they're trying to shame and attack men for walking away because they view men as their SLAVEs. They view us as their property. They do not like us, but they need us. They will never admit that they need us, but they will do everything in their power to come after us and destroy us if we ever think of leaving. It's an extreme form of narcissism. It is absolute evil and cruelty, and it's sadly spreading outside of the US into other regions of the world because of the Sims.
This is the website of a self-described official passport bros company, launched in the United States in 2023. It's run by Prometheus Worley and his son, Clifford. They provide information for aspiring passport bros. Tips include how to date in different cultures, how to find accommodation and flights, or rent a private jet.
Right now, we're just an informational service. That's why we're standing at 500,000 men, subscribers, and we're not charging. There's such a disconnect between men and women that men have to literally be on their guard just to interact with a woman. So men are opting to leave. You go where you're appreciated versus staying here where you're just tolerated.
On their website, the Worleys give suggestions of which countries are best suited for passport bros. Among their top 6 recommendations, 4 Asian countries make the list: Cambodia, the Philippines, Vietnam, and Thailand.
If you're a guy looking for a woman that has traditional values, family values, you're going to find it in these areas.
But with the emphasis on traditional gender roles, critics say the passport bro movement is steeped in misogyny and anti-feminism. Austin has more than 700,000 followers on TikTok and Instagram. His content has accrued tens of millions of views, plenty of love, and a lot of hate.
Here's what I learned being a passport bro. Being a single American guy in South America, I sometimes post stuff like that, or this, and my comments get crazy. People get fucking mad. Step 1, get a passport.
Passport bros like Austin have come under fire for their romantic escapades abroad. The emphasis on traditional gender roles leads detractors to say the movement is anti-feminist, as it implies women should occupy a subservient role to men.
We still tend to equate women with, nursing and homemaking and all of these attributes, whereas men are the providers, are the ones who provide protection and resources in modern Western culture. Right? A lot of women would probably be not happy about the prospect of going back to the norms that they seem so fond of.
See, they always has to hate something whenever men are doing something for themselves. They have preference to look for a wife that is feminine, and they are finding that overseas. All of a sudden, that's a bad thing. Let's just shame them. Meanwhile, when women are doing all this decenter men, 4B movement, hating men on TikTok, all of a sudden, they're not shamed for misandry.
It's harmful, you know, this passport bro movement that hold these beliefs, you know, that women should be meek, subservient, and should like tend to their needs. This passport bro movement puts like kind of a racist and colonial dimension to this, because it kind of fulfills like their expectations that, you know, brown people should be servicing white people and brown countries should be at the service of white Western countries.
So right now we are halfway through the video, and what you're feeling about this woman right now is going to get worse by the end of it. So let's continue.
Yet, gender roles are complex. It's simplistic to assume Asian women are unequal to men. For example, the Philippines ranks 25th out of 146 countries in gender equality, scoring better than Canada at 36 and almost 20 places above the United States at 43. Thailand ranks 65.
We Filipina, we know how to cover our role as a wife, and we let our men to lead us in our household. But some Western women, they think that's too old-fashioned. You know, women should pursue their career and all that. And they even said that we are just playing the role because we want to get out the poverty, you know. But the fact is, we are raised like this. That's our tradition, that's our culture, you know.
Another criticism of passport bros says the men resort to finding love overseas because they're not good enough for the women back home.
These guys sort of give up on themselves in terms of what success they're going to have here in America. And they are like, okay, I'm not even going to put the effort in. It's almost like they think they're going to take a magic pill and everything's going to change by going to a different country and meeting a woman there.
Just as the passport bro movement grew through social media, there's now a counter-movement disparaging the men who choose this lifestyle.
Guys, if you think you've missed the boat on Bitcoin, think again. The crypto world is exploding with new opportunities. And while Bitcoin has already made its millionaires, there's still a chance for you to get in early on the next big wave. I've put together an exclusive guide on 4 altcoins that could change the game and change your financial future. These aren't just hype coins. These are real projects with groundbreaking technology and massive upside potential. This is your chance to get in before they hit the mainstream. But listen, crypto isn't just about getting rich, it's about freedom. Freedom from traditional banks, freedom from government-controlled money, and freedom to take back control of your life. That's why I created Angry's Crypto Academy. When you join the academy, you'll learn everything you need to know about cryptocurrency, how to buy, sell, and trade the right way, how to spot the coins that can truly take off, and how to use crypto to achieve real economic freedom. And here's the best part. When you subscribe, you'll get a free copy of my crypto blueprint. This is packed with valuable tips and strategies to help you get started, and it's yours just for joining. The link is in the description below. Don't wait around and miss another opportunity like Bitcoin. Those who act now will be the ones who win big. So if you're ready to take back control of your finances and start your journey to freedom. Join Angry's Crypto Academy today. Let's make it happen. You see, guys, we're dealing with individuals who do not like us. They view us as property. They view us only as a means to an end. It is extreme narcissism. And women don't have it in them to admit that they're wrong because they have been conditioned and raised to believe that they are the superior from the very moment that they were born. They observe collectively how men are treated, how boys are treated. They see this in society. They are told over and over that they are perfect, they are special, they are better, they are stronger than we are. They can do everything that we cannot do. Okay? They can have it all. Men have never been able to have it all. Men have never been able to do it all. Yet women are able to do everything. Women are beautiful and capable. Guys, if you're an overweight man, society lets you know very carefully that you are not attractive. If you are a woman who is on the heavier side, society tells you that you're beautiful, perfect, and you are a 10. This is how society operates. If you see an overweight man with a beautiful woman, this is absolutely demonized. Demonized. They call it disgusting. They call it exploitation. This is women. This is feminist. If they see an overweight woman, if they see an overweight man with a beautiful woman, it's demonized. If they see an overweight woman with a handsome, healthy, fit man, a Chad, it is celebrated, and the woman is said that they say that the woman is a 10 and that the man is lucky to be with her. That's the reality that we live in. Okay? Because I've said this to you. You will never reach women. You will never be able to change anything. All right. And one of the things that scares me the most when it comes to women in society and the way that women think, and it took me time to fully understand this because I've said this before, that we're dealing with individuals who are functionally insane at best. Functionally insane at best. When observing women, I've come to understand that a woman will destroy everything around her, even if it goes against her own best interest. Even if common sense and reason is there and others are telling her to stop, you are going to lose absolutely everything. They will collectively destroy everything. And then when they've destroyed everything and they've lost everything, only then will they say, my emotions betrayed me. And even then, they can't stop listening to their emotions. Even then, they can't stop listening to their feelings because the only thing a woman is loyal to are her feelings. Women reason using feelings, men reason using facts. So even when it comes to logic, a woman's center of logic is pivoted towards emotions and feelings. And when it comes to, even when she tries to use facts, she's simply going to choose the facts that she feels the best about. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And it took me time to really comprehend. A woman it doesn't matter if she's going to scorch the earth and there will be this, like, she's going to destroy everything in her own life over a misunderstanding or just her emotions lying to her, her feelings telling her something has happened that has not happened. It doesn't matter. And then when she goes down this path,
You pay attention to the passport bros, like they're getting women from like the DR, Colombia,
Yes.
The Philippines, Thailand, like women that can speak very little English, women that don't have education, women that need them.
But here is where these critics are getting pushback. Some from women in Southeast Asia themselves.
Filipinos are depicted as desperate, submissive, and at a man's beck and call. Do you have any clue how insulting that is?
By suggesting that Asian women are easier targets for Western men, there is an undertone of racism. The implication being that Asian women are less than compared to Western women.
A woman commented, if you worked harder, you could get a first world queen. And it's just like, holy, the same sort of stereotypical nature to say like all Filipino women are X is to say all American men dating in the Philippines are X.
I grew up here in the Philippines. In this region, like we have more women living in poverty than men, more women working in the informal sector, and more women carrying the burden of care work or like work at home.
The passport bro movement, having spawned on the internet, might eventually go the way online trends go. and fade from relevance. But beneath it, there's a more worrying shift developing, a global pushback against feminism.
My views of it started to change when I started to see feminism promotes double standards. Women can have their expectation. They can say, I want a guy with a six-pack. I want a guy with six figures. I want a guy who drives a Maserati, who has a big home. If a man says, I prefer a woman that's sort of on the fit side, a little slender, he's a sexist. How dare he say that he wants her to be thin?
Prometheus is far from alone in this view. There is a global pushback against feminism. It coincides with the surge of men's rights activism and hypermasculine movements, broadly known as the manosphere. The manosphere is a network of online communities with a belief that men's rights have been neglected, usually laying the blame on feminism. One of the most notorious figures of the movement is Andrew Tate, who became famous for anti-feminist rhetoric.
See, this is the another thing that I hate. They just got this guy Andrew Tate, who was like extreme red pill, and they just labeled him like some mascot of whole manosphere stuff. He doesn't represent everyone, not us. Because Nikta has nothing to do with Andrew Tate and his beliefs, but they still want to label it as a one thing and shame all men.
Andrew Tate and his brother have been charged with assault and human trafficking in Romania. Within the manosphere exist groups like MGTOW, or men going their own way, men who want nothing to do with women. Then there is the red pill, those who believe society privileges women and suppresses men. The name is from The Matrix, a 1999 science fiction film where a red pill reveals the truth about the world. Another faction are incels, short for involuntary celibates. These are men who can't find sexual partners and air their often hateful and aggressive frustrations online.
Guys, let me know what you feel about this term, incel. I personally believe men cannot be incels, because by that definition it means that men just cannot ever get laid. But there are women providing the services. If you actually really crave for that physical need, you have option to get that. You choose not to get that because there are risks and everything, and you probably don't want it. So that's volunteering. So maybe I'm just thinking too much, but I genuinely believe men do not fall under the category of incels. But let me know what you guys feel about that.
The Passport Bro movement is also considered as part of the manosphere. There are differences and overlaps, but overall, these groups are linked by one core idea: a feeling that men are losing out.
When you think about what privilege is, psychologically speaking, then basically it means that you have occupied a spot in a hierarchy that has long remained unchallenged. So suddenly you see that someone is approaching that hierarchy. I could see how that would maybe aggravate some people.
So guys, this holiday season, Angry's Crypto Academy is running a Christmas promo to help you start 2025 strong. From now until December 31st, you can get 20% off annual paid subscriber plans, and the bootcamp membership is also 20% off. If you've been waiting to level up your crypto game, now's the perfect time to invest in yourself. Click the link in the description below, grab your membership, and let's make 2025 your best year yet. Merry Christmas, and I'll see you inside the academy. She basically just chuckles to herself and says, you know, if she was able to keep the man around despite everything, or she still has a man at her side, she basically says, oh, well, I'm a woman, you're a man, and you just have to deal with it because you'll always want us. Or if she's destroyed everything in her life at that point, she'll basically blame everyone else but herself. She'll blame her emotions, even though she cannot escape them. You have to understand, women are slaves to their emotions. Their emotions control them. Their feelings control them. And this is the reason why they will constantly go to the streets, because their emotions are controlled by the streets. The streets call out to them. They actually say it in videos. It's like the streets were calling out to me. One of the worst things I ever heard from it. This is why some people are like, Angry, you're so wise at your age. I have guys who are boomers or even Gen X. Even I have guys who are Gen Xers or boomers who are older than I am. I'm 41. And they're like, you're wise beyond your years. Yeah, but the thing is, I learned from other men. That's the reason why. And it's just kind of annoying because there's so many guys who, they've thrown their entire lives away. They've thrown their entire lives away. The difference between me is that I actually learn. I take the experiences of other men. I see the experiences. I learn from the mistakes of other men and I integrate them. And I'm not perfect. Sometimes I repeat the same mistakes, but I try not to. I learn from my own mistakes and I learn from the mistakes of other men. And the thing is, when I mess up, I take accountability for it. Like if I say yeah, I know I shouldn't be doing this and I know I shouldn't be doing this, so I'm going to take accountability for whatever wrong happens here, because I know better than this. I know I shouldn't be doing this, but it's like a drug addict that is desperate for a fix. And then you get screwed, but you're like, at least I know exactly why this happened and I take full accountability. I should not have been doing this and I knew better. And again, because we all fall short. We all fall short. But there's a lot of these men who they do these things and they repeat the same things over and over. And then when you say, do you repent? Many of you guys have heard me repent countless times for simping, for any simping I've done in the past. When you say to these men, do you repent for what you've done? They go, no, I do not repent. I do not repent because I didn't have any control of myself, or I didn't know any better, so I can't be held accountable. You didn't know any better. Guys, this is the same type of stupid people that say they didn't know any better when they robbed someone, when they committed horrible acts and horrible crimes. They didn't know any better, so they can't be held accountable for it. They were just trying to survive. I read this thing from this thing about this convict. He's actually out now and he turned his life around. But some people ended up passing away because of what he did, if I recall. And it's like they were saying he was just trying to survive. It's like, he grew up in a rough neighborhood and all this other BS. And he was just trying to survive, through crime. And some people got hurt and some people passed away as a result of it. But you have to understand, he didn't know any better. Get the hell out of here, bro. Get out of here. Absolute nonsense. And that's how a lot of these simps are. I didn't know any better, so I can't be held accountable. A man who does not take any accountability for the things that he's done and then tries to push it off and say that he didn't know any better or he cannot be held accountable because he was not in control of himself is a person you cannot trust. A person who refuses to repent for what they've done is a person who will repeat those things and will never ever even reflect upon it because there's no accountability. There's no accountability. There's no, I know what I'm doing is wrong. All right. This is female behavior. Okay. This is not masculine behavior. This is toxic behavior. This is extremely toxic behavior that these men are exhibiting. And you cannot trust these types of people because they did it once. They will 100% do it again. And that's why as men, we have to walk away from society. We have to walk away from people who do these things. We have to be focused on getting ours, living the best life we can possibly live, because no one else is going to do it for us. You have to understand something. You have to remember something. This world, the world around us, absolutely despises us.
Well, I think for me, feminism is kind of looking at how patriarchy, or this system of social relations that favors men over literally everyone else, harms women and harms those that it oppresses, and also to see how it interacts with other systems of oppression. And without looking at it in this kind of structural way, we might not understand how these issues are actually very gendered, and it affects poverty affects women differently than men?
I think feminism is the ability for women to make their own choice and to have their own freedoms, and I'm all about that. I think there's a difference between that and extreme radical feminism. They think that men are dominating and oppressing women, whereas the average guy is just trying to make, a living, just trying to support his wife, his family, just trying to do his duty. The average man is not a misogynist. The average man is not out to oppress.
One study of Tinder found that women had a successful match for every 2 likes on the app, compared to 1 in every 40 for men.
It creates just more visibility of how women are kind of afforded to be more choosy. Now there's a lot of candidates, and you get to just kind of, go through your matches and see. And research shows that it takes men a longer time to accumulate a certain number of matches. And I think the visibility of this can create an additional layer of agreements.
A lot of these passport bros don't have great experiences in dating in the West. A lot of these average guys just feel like, man, I'm not catching the attention of the woman that I'm interested in. And they're seeing these guys who are living in Thailand or they're living in the Philippines, these passport bros videos, and they see that there are other countries in the world where the expectations are not so absurdly high due to curated social media that isn't reflective of reality.
Although the passport bro movement is mostly viewed disparagingly in the West, here in Asia, the sentiment is more nuanced.
I don't think it's necessarily wrong, for example, for like a white man to date like a Filipino woman or a Southeast Asian woman. But in Southeast Asia, there is this kind of expectation that women in our region are subservient and meek and caring and will tend to your needs.
I don't feel like being dominated, we look at marriage like a team, like helping each other, and we're happy that works for us.
There's room for everybody, as long as there's no exploitation, as long as there are no lies. We all have different wants, and if what you need is a more traditional wife or husband, why not?
So there we have it. That's the entire documentary. It was all about shaming men's preferences, while women are just told now they don't need a man, they are above it. Well, if women are above men and they don't need men and don't have to do those traditional things, then what exactly is woman supposed to do in a relationship? They never answer that. What is she supposed to do?
But the purpose of her existence, it believes, is for us to serve society, serve women, and give everything that we have towards them. Don't forget that the fall of the Roman Empire occurred after men walked away from society, and the Roman Empire was surviving entirely upon slave labor. They were punishing men for not marrying. The single men were called worse than all of the criminals in the Roman Empire. They were barred from going to the Colosseum, barred from going to public events, and during the wintertime they were forced to run in the streets chain gang style, and they still would not get married. Fast forward 100 years after this train wreck and no-fault divorce, men had given up. The empire no longer had a military. Barbarians realized that the emperor had no clothes, pillaged the emperor, and we were plunged into 1,000 years of darkness. Women who were very much had significant positions in the empire lost everything, and their status, they basically were stuck working in the fields for the next 1,000 years alongside men, but they had a lower status, even lower than the poorest of men. The living conditions for women during the Dark Ages were horrific. Let me ask you something. When the banks collapse, and trust me, it's coming, will you be ready? Imagine waking up to ATMs that don't work, bank doors chained shut, and millions of people left with nothing. No cash, no access to their savings, and no way to survive. But it doesn't have to be that way for you. That's why I created Angry's Crypto Academy, to teach you everything you need to know about crypto so you can protect yourself and your family. You'll learn how to buy, sell, and even day trade crypto for a living. Plus, we alert you to new crypto trends so you can profit before everyone else even knows what's happening. Right now, I've just published an exclusive investment guide inside the Academy, and it's linked in the description below. In it, I reveal the one coin that could make you a millionaire. A coin so revolutionary, it could change everything. If you missed out on Bitcoin and Ethereum, this is your second chance. This isn't just about financial freedom, it's about survival. When the system collapses and everyone else is selling, you'll be the one buying, prepared to weather the storm and thrive while others struggle to survive. Don't wait. This knowledge isn't optional, it's critical. The link's in the description. Go check it out now. And this all occurred because women had everything that they could have ever wanted under the Roman Empire, even that wasn't good enough. So once they got access to no-fault divorces, they began divorcing their husbands, running off with gladiators. This is the story. Okay. And then and here's the crazy thing. We are modern day slaves in Western society as men. And they're trying to gaslight us into believing that we are pathetic villains while women are powerful victims. And just by the very virtue of being a man, everything is handed to us while we're subsidizing society, subsidizing women. And they think that we should be grateful for our slavery. It's a sick reality. And even in the Roman Empire, in the literature, they clearly said that you cannot use slave labor to protect your empire. Slaves were barred from being in the military, and yet women in Western society don't even follow these basic principles. And even the society itself, the government doesn't follow these basic principles because we are modern day slaves, yet it expects us to still protect and provide for the empire because it doesn't even view us as human beings. It doesn't even view us as having autonomy or a real agency. It doesn't view us as having common sense or even brains. It believes that we're basically lower than we're that of the insects, where we operate based on simply impulse. We are not even viewed as humans. It's a sick society. And that's why as every man with any common sense or decency has to wake up and walk away from this garbage. Guys, feminism has left women broke, broken, and alone. Feminism only keeps working until the rent is due. Now you have a lot of women who are beginning to square off feminism, who are saying that, it got us everything we wanted, but now let's fight it together. Let's fight for one another. Because if you look at what's happening now, you have women who are complaining that men are now being able to enter their women only spaces, which I think is kind of crap. Because now you have women who are like, you have guys, let me make it clear. They say gender exists only within the brain. I'm not going to give you my opinion on that. So you have men who have now transitioned, and they are now women, and they are now able to enter into, traditionally biological women only spaces. And women are furious about this because they're like, these are our spaces, these are our resources. So now these women, other women, are now being able to, use a ladies' restroom, able to use the locker room, able to participate in women's sports, and they're able to get access to resources, things like grants and all kinds of benefits, government benefits even, that were exclusively once only for women. Biological women they're now able to get access because they are now women too. And women are not happy about this. And what it is the fact that these women are angry that these individuals now are able to partake in the privileges that they once exclusively had. And they should see what's happening. And now that's why so many of them voted for Trump. They didn't vote for him because they like him. They voted for him because now we're seeing a role reversal where they went so far left that now they're losing all of the ill-gotten gains many of the ill-gotten gains that they had that they got as a result of feminism. And they will never take any accountability for any of this. Guys, they said, men, we don't like you, men, we don't want you. And they think they're going to get men to come back or keep men by attacking passport kings, calling them racist, saying that they're going over to other countries to engage in bad acts with women and that this actually hurts women and children and all kind of women and girls, and it's insanity. And that just reflects how much these people do not like us. They're only pushing men further and further away. They don't know how to get a man using honey. This is something that Soraya pointed out. These women don't know how to compete for a man. They've been taught and conditioned in Western society that they should never compete for a man because a man will be provided to you. Men will simply come to you because you are a woman. So they see what's happening. They're losing all of the privileges that they have. They're losing the power. It's not really power. It's just privilege. And they're fighting tooth and nail to maintain that by saying that, no, they're going to shame and attack and defame and destroy a man's reputation. Because that's how women have always operated, by destroying our reputations. Women without men are at the mercy of the world. They're at the mercy of the elements of the world. Even in a world without men, women are at the mercy of the world. Think about it. And women don't understand that men are the gatekeepers of society. Men are the gatekeepers of prosperity. Men are the gatekeepers of reproduction. We are the gatekeepers of everything. And I mean, think about this carefully. If a woman gets pregnant, she's done for 9 months. She can't do anything. She has to carry that baby for 9 months, and then she needs a man to stick around to provide for that child. Okay? And they say women are the gatekeepers of reproduction. A man can go around and he can get tons of women get pregnant, and that's it. And he could continue operating and surviving. He has all the power, doesn't he? Okay? Women, the only leverage that a woman has is that she can carry a baby. A man can father many children. Think about it very carefully. Someone like Genghis Khan, he is, there are like, what was it, like hundreds of thousands or millions of people who are descended from Genghis Khan. This guy had something like thousands of children. Okay? That is a feat that no woman can accomplish. There's no woman on this earth that can ever have more children than a man can. It's absolutely biologically impossible. Okay? A woman, and let's just be very clear, in rare situations can have something like maybe 13 kids. That's a very rare thing to occur, and that's very taxing on the body. The average man can father easily hundreds, even thousands of children and not break a sweat. In fact, the average man can father thousands of children without even having to physically be there because of the nature of his reproductive material. While women have a very finite amount of eggs in their bodies, a man can basically keep having children until almost the day he passes away. Something women cannot do. There's a saying, they hate us because they ain't us. They hate us because they ain't us. What do you guys think? Women said they didn't want us, and now they're going to have to go hang out with Yogi and Boo Boo, and they're running for the exits, but then at the same time, they're throwing shade. Let me know your thoughts, and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away. And cheers.